All right, I got a question for you all. What is an acorn really? In a nutshell, it's an oak tree. Welcome to the Average Money Podcast. Guys, Brad and I have literally been sitting here for about 15 minutes figuring out. I'm trying to spice up these intros a little bit. You guys know, like, I'm not the most creative when it comes to these intros. Brad nails them every time. It takes me 4 outtakes, intro. I mess it up. I said, Brad, hold up a second. I got this. I know what we're talking about today. We got a good voicemail.
Oh, wait. I got to press the pause button here. Were you saying, like, well, in a nutshell,
It's an oak tree.
I just got it.
Yeah, dude.
What is an acorn?
Well, in a nutshell, it's an oak tree.
Oh, my God. That was great, and I just got it.
Dude, I don't even know where I left off.
Who cares? I'm not editing it. We got a voicemail about acorns.
Hold on. We're rolling this whole way?
Yeah, why not? Let's go.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, what a disaster. Let's roll with it, boys. Let's go. Yes, we got a voicemail, and it's. I mean, you guys saw the title. It's probably Acorns versus Robinhood or something like that. It's a good voicemail.
Acorns or Robinhood.
Or Robinhood, something like that. Well, who knows what it'll come up to be, but oh my gosh, I can't believe we're keeping all that. But hey, we're going to roll with it, boys.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's
And girls, boys and
voicemail.
girls, boys and girls, boys and girls.
Boys and girls, let's go.
Hey guys, Jason here. Really love the show. I appreciate the knowledge that you're dropping for us. I had a quick question regarding Acorns. I signed up a few years ago as a student because I could get a free membership. Didn't really know what I was doing, but I've liked I've liked the results so far. But my question is, what is your opinion between Acorns and Robinhood? I know you guys talk a lot about Robinhood, but I haven't heard much about Acorns yet. Appreciate any advice. Thank you. Looking forward to it.
So you said a couple of things there that I want to mention. Number one, you got a free membership because you're a student. That's awesome. And I think that's still true. Don't quote me on that. But for us people that have known about Acorn for a while, there was never a fee. It was always just there. The other thing that you said, and kind of what I mean by that fee was like, that's kind of a down for me. The other thing you said is you had really no idea what you were doing, which was a pro for Acorns, not in a bad way when I first started, not like I knew nothing about what I was doing, so they was going to take advantage of me. It was more, I know nothing what I'm going to be doing, and they really weren't that bad. Like, it wasn't a bad thing for you. It wasn't dangerous. It wasn't too risky. When I first got on Acorns, for those that you don't know, back in the day, I think Bank of America, they started this where every time you swiped your debit card, it would round up to the nearest dollar, and it would take that money and they would move it from your checking into your savings. Kind of like an automatic way to put money into your savings account. And I loved it. And it was great. Like, if you got $1.50 worth of gas, your account hit for $2.50 that went to your savings account that you'd link to it. It was great.
Who the hell gets $1.50 worth of gas?
I don't know, bro. That's not these days. I don't know if y'all realize there's been a bit spike in gas, but we're not going to. But now what they did with Acorns was they took that same premise. You would link it to your bank account. Every time you swiped your card, they would send it. And you had 3 choices according to your risk. And it was like high risk, medium risk, conservative. Essentially what they were doing was you didn't get to choose your actual investments. You got to choose your risk profile, and then they put it in there. That's expanded now. They do a lot more things. They, like you mentioned, they have memberships and stuff. The last thing that you said that I want to mention on is you've been really, really happy with your returns. And if you're really, really happy with your returns, like, that's really all that matters, even in a sense of like efficiency. Like, you can be happy and I guess be making the wrong decisions, but very rarely when you're saving money and investing in anything that's getting more than inflation, you're doing the right thing. So I just want to first say that if you're happy with Acorn and what's going on with it, I personally don't use it anymore. Mostly because I kind of do know what I'm doing now. So I've moved past that like initial phase where I've done my research and done my education. And to be honest, the thing that came next was Robinhood, but that's really because when I got into it, Robinhood, there wasn't a lot of competitors. Now, everyone talks about Robinhood. I think it's a little bit different. I said to JJ before, which I was probably incorrect. I was like, well, Acorns really isn't a brokerage account where Robinhood is. And that's not necessarily true. But from like a contextual sense, like, you go onto Robinhood to buy stocks, you can buy funds, you can trade options. It's a fully functioning like user experience that you get to handle. They were really first to market with their user interface. They've gone through their ups and their downs, but to my knowledge, and I could be wrong because I haven't done my research in a bit, if you want to buy 5 shares of Apple, you can't go onto Acorns and do that. I know that you can now invest money on top of like the rounding up your dollar. I don't know if I'd even do that. If I was going to take money on my own and place it somewhere, I don't even know if it would necessarily be Robinhood. It would definitely be my Roth IRA first, because that's the first thing I'm going to max before I have a taxable brokerage account. But if you're still using it to like just round up and you're paying like, I guess if you still have it for free, or I think the roundup feature is like $1 a month. If you're paying that $1 a month and you use your debit card often and it's just shooting money in, you have it in like the high risk, which really isn't that risky from what I remember, but it's the real one where you're going to get some sort of return. I don't have anything against it. I just don't use it anymore because I really don't use my debit card that often. I'm mostly a credit card kind of guy. And then I pay all my bills at the end of the month. So I don't really use my checking account at all, except to move money places. So that was one reason why it didn't really work for me that much. And the other is because when I was placing money, I was maxing out my Roth IRA inside Vanguard or whatever place you want to do that, and in an index fund, keep my life nice and simple, set it and forget it. Then I went on to brokerage accounts, and you guys know I have a bunch of different brokerage accounts just because they all have their different pros and cons. Robinhood, I think, was just first to market. It's kind of like Bitcoin. Like, they were first to market. They were the one that became popular quickly, and they also get unpopular very quickly, but then people realize after a week their rage goes down that it's not that bad. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so if you're asking, like, should you be a member of Robinhood? Well, the answer is that's up to you. Yep. Should you halt what you're doing in Acorns to open a Robinhood account so you can be one of the boys? Trust me, unless you're in a really, really good group of friends, don't worry about what your boys are doing with money. Worry about what you're doing, lead by example, and they should be asking you more questions about what you're doing than you asking about what they're doing. And then the third option is, if you want to have Robinhood and you want to throw a couple dollars in there, go for it, man. I'm not against, like, you're saving money. We're talking efficiencies now. We're not talking like you're not going to be able to put food on the table, right? We're saying like, oh man, where should I invest and save some more money? But you can use Robinhood, you can use Webull, you can use M1 Finance, you can use Vanguard, you can use Charles Schwab, you can use Fidelity. That doesn't matter. All of those other ones are kind of their own separate thing, but they all do the same thing. So that's really all I got to say about that. Nothing crazy. I like where your head's at, and I'm an advocate for people. Like, if my grandma was like, I want to move money, I'd probably say, yeah, just do Acorns, grandma. High risk, just do Acorns and throw some money in there for $1 a month and not have to worry about the hands-on, day-to-day functionality that you need when you have a Robinhood account.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Brett on this one. I personally have never used Acorns. I actually started with E-Trade. For my first brokerage way back when I bought my first few stocks. But then I stumbled upon Robinhood actually when I started my YouTube channel. I had a lot of people asking me about it in the comment section. This was not a lot of people, just a few back. This was back pre 1,000 subscribers. But it was right away. I mean, right when I started my YouTube channel is when I opened my Robinhood account. And I fell in love with it. I really did. I was coming from like E-Trade and then Vanguard, and then I got to Robinhood. I mean, dude, it was a game changer. Just the user interface, how user friendly it really was. It was easy. It was nice to understand. And also, me coming from someone with a background of buying stocks already and buying funds and understanding how everything works, and then being able to experience something like this first, kind of like you said, it was like first to the game. Robinhood was, I've never seen anything like it before.
Yeah.
So I kind of have always really, even though Robinhood, like you said, has had some ups and downs, I've always really thoroughly enjoyed Robinhood because I get to choose what I want to do with my money. If I want to put it in some ETFs, if I want to buy some stocks, do whatever I want, I get to make the decision. I also want to kind of touch on what you said also, Brad, about how the importance of I'm not going to have a brokerage account until I know my Roth IRA is fully maxed out. So I don't know, like, where that's just my own personal opinion. I'm saying you have to do that, but for me personally, I want to make sure I got that tax benefit coming in from my Roth IRA and then moving to my brokerage account after that.
Yeah, and for the hypocrite police out there, guys, yes, we've talked about our displeasures with Robinhood before, and they've also done things to try and make their situation better. it's still not our primary investing vehicle. But
well, I mean, I can touch on that real quick. I don't mean to interrupt you, but like I get questions all the time on YouTube about, because I show my Robinhood portfolio. Like Robinhood got the spotlight and all what happened, and I don't want this episode to turn into like what's going on with GameStop and everything. But Robinhood had the spotlight with what's going on with the GameStop and AMC stuff. But literally, almost every other brokerage stopped trading in those stocks as well.
Right. Almost
Every other broker did it. It's just Robinhood got the spotlight of it.
Well, because they were first and they had the most volume.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't beat their user interface. You can't beat their instant deposits. You can't beat their fees and their availability to do things. But back to the question at hand. Like I said, man, if you're happy with Acorns, don't change anything. If you're contributing more than that round up dollar, I'm not a financial advisor, but if it was me, I would probably just stick with that, rolling up the money, and anything else I was going to put extra, I'd be maxing out my Roth IRA. Then after I was maxing out my Roth IRA, then I'd maybe think about a brokerage account like Robinhood or M1 Finance or Webull, whichever one you think is best, or you try them all and you find out which one works best for you.
Yeah, I mean, I agree totally with that. I'm trying to think if I do like this about Acorns, just from quickly looking at it before we did this episode. I do like the fact that you can open up like IRAs and stuff with that. I actually didn't know that. They have like custodial accounts, I think, for your kids, and so that's a cool concept. But here's my thought on this though, Brad. Like me being a guy who has my Vanguard's accounts for all this, and I would love to hear like feedback from, I guess, other Acorn users. But I guess what would be the reasoning for like me to switch from Vanguard to, I guess, Acorns whenever I know I can dump a lot more money into Vanguard instead of just doing like the roundup feature? I don't know. That's just something I've always thought about. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm not saying Acorns is bad. I don't think Acorns is bad. I think it's a great investment vehicle. That's just something I've always kind of thought about, I guess.
I recently did a video on YouTube about different apps, and I had to go back and do some research on Acorn, and mostly because I haven't used them in a couple of years. And I think almost what they did was they might have tried to go to market too quickly, because I think that the first people that were introduced to them, if you have any idea of money, you realize that they weren't that great of a plan. Like when it was just, like I said, when it was just that free roundup feature into 3 investments and your friends started talking about it, that kind of like burned a hole in me that anytime I ever heard Acorns after that, I thought that's how it is. I never knew about their changes and their evolutions and things that they were doing to better themselves. So either they're not doing a great job of marketing their changes to me, somebody that's in this space that sees it all the time. So when I did that research, and like you said, you're reading up on it a little bit, it was nice to see that they are making some changes. I just wish they would market themselves better and let us know kind of what they're doing. But they
hook us up with a sponsor, Acorns. Let's go.
I'll re-download that app in a sec. Like I said, I never had anything bad against them.
Yeah.
I really didn't. And it was like 7-8% returns, just like we'd expect. It was like any ETF. That's essentially what it was. It was an ETF, and it was like either a growth ETF or an S&P 500 ETF or like a small cap or like a heavily bonded ETF.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's a kind of like, it gave you like that target date. But like I said, if you didn't use your debit card a lot, I use my debit card literally like maybe 5 times a month.
Yeah.
So even if it was 99 cents, I'm putting $5 a month in. So when push came to shove and I found out about like Roth IRAs and brokerage accounts, I just said, okay, well, I kept it on there for a little bit, and then I just slowly just evolved away from it. And I think if you're a young guy or a young girl and I think that slow evolution away from it, and it's not that there's anything wrong with it. I just think kind of how I went from Robinhood to Webull to Thinkorswim in my, options trading portfolios and the different tools. I think you just evolve in your personal finance journey, and I don't think you'll ever leave Acorns because it's bad or because you don't like it. I think if anything, you'll just evolve past it and you'll just grow into something new.
Or just keep doing what you're doing, if it's...
he said he's happy.
Yeah, I mean, if you enjoy it and you like the platform and it's what you like, I mean, there's nothing really to change. I would just say, I'm curious, Brad, on your thoughts. What if this is the only form of investing someone is doing is the roundup feature?
Well, maybe like they're paying off debt or something. What do you mean? Like,
Okay, yeah, that's true. I mean, it's kind of a loaded question. Let's assume like debt's paid off and they're wanting to invest, and all they're really doing is kind of just roundup feature on Acorns. You probably would think they would need to do a little more than that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, even just following Dave Ramsey's philosophies, I'm going to be trying to save 10%. And you're probably not going to get 10% that roll up feature. And just like I mentioned earlier, like if they do have the opportunity for you to invest more and automate more every week or every month, I think the buck would stop there for me. I think if I was going to be adding extra money, like I said, that's when I would start to do some research. But yeah, I don't think anybody should, especially people that are debt free, should just be rolling like their change up and investing. Yeah.
Actually, now I'm thinking about this though, man. Like, it really is a cool feature. Like, if you got somebody out there who's scared to invest or just not sure how, like, it's awesome to think about. Yeah, just swipe my debit card at the gas station for $1.50 worth of gas, and my 50 cents goes to Acorns. That's cool though, because every time you use that debit card, which unfortunately Brad and I don't use debit cards really, but every time you use that debit card, that's money going into your investment account,
I really think it was Bank of America that used to do it. Like I'd been doing it for years with them, and then when I heard that I could actually it was investing, I was stoked. Yeah, no, it's a great premise.
Yeah,
think about some credit card reward points.
Yeah, no doubt for sure.
Stop using your debit card. Stop using your debit card.
Yeah, for real. Well, Jason, man, we really do appreciate the question. Like I said, I'm not the most familiar with Acorns, but I do really love the platform. Robinhood is just one of those brokerages of choices for me. I do have other brokerages as well that I use, so I'm not just solely with Robinhood. Vanguard's honestly where I keep majority of my assets, with when it comes to investing and buying index funds and stocks and all that stuff. But, man, we really do appreciate the voicemail. Guys, if you are listening, you're at the gym or on a nice walk with the dog, or you're popping open that can of beer because it's Friday evening and you're done with work for the week, we really do appreciate it, guys. And we really do appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to the Average Money Podcast. And until the next one, you guys take care.